Alex, I wasn't on last Friday.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi, Annie.
Hi.
Hello, ladies. We got knocked out, so we didn't know when to come back.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Denise.
Hello.
Hello.
And hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Amy.
Hi,
Hi.
Diane.
Howdy, howdy,
Denise.
howdy.
How's everybody?
Hey,
Thank-
hanging in there.
It's
Still
Denise,
doing
Amy.
well. How
How
are
your
you?
cat? How the cat? Amy, how your cat?
Who?
It's Denise.
My
How your
cat?
cat?
Oh, my
Yeah.
cat is meowing outside, by the way.
Oh,
That's what I mute my
know.
audio because she is like
Oh,
asking for attention, and I'm
Uh-huh.
locked in my office.
I know.
Oh,
Where your
that's
daughter?
okay.
Your daughter at school?
Yeah, my daughter's at school. She's doing very well. Thank you
Oh,
for
good.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Okay.
Yeah, my cat was whining. She wanted some water. I went in. Now she's in here laying down on the bed on her pillow taking a nap. She'll wait
She's
till I lay down to take a nap, and then she'll start nudging and laying on me and moving and doing whatever.
yep. Sounds about right. That's my
Yeah.
life too.
Yeah, well, you know what
Yeah,
you know
they
what
like
that's all about,
attention.
right?
They are attention seekers. Yeah, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just give me a minute. Since Teresa has an announcement, I'm just gonna just check on her for a brief second, and I will be back.
Okay.
Honey, we'll be here.
I am here, honey.
All right. So since the start time is 1:30 based on
30,
my schedule. Yeah.
1:30. That's why I was basically not going to put you on the spot until then.
Okay. Sounds good. All right.
So
One
just
second. I will be back.
relax and relax, do whatever, you
Okay.
know. Didn't want to put you on the spot until
I'm
you
gonna
start
finish
time.
my coffee. Oh, got 10 minutes.
Anyway, we're waiting. We've still got a few minutes
Oh,
left.
no, don't do that. I
Anybody
was
was at the lunch club today?
Yes. I
How was
was
it?
going to tell them a poem, another poem. Do y'all want to hear?
Yeah.
Is it a nice poem, Diane?
Of course.
Should we hear
Of
it?
course. Yes.
Okay, let's go then.
Little orphan Annie comes to our house to stay and wash the cups and dishes and brush the crumbs away and shoo the chickens off the porch and dust the heart and sweep and make the fine baked bread and earn her board and keep. And all of us other children, when the supper things are done, we sit around the kitchen fire and have the mostest fun and listen to the witch tales that Annie tells about. And the goblins will get you if you don't watch out. Once there was a little boy who wouldn't say his prayers. So when he went to bed at night away upstairs, his mammy heard him holler and his daddy heard him bawl. And when they turned the kivets down, he wasn't there at all. And they seeked him in the rafters room and cupboard holes and press and seeked him up the chimney flute and everywhere, I guess. But all they ever found was this his pants in the bout, and the goblins will get you if you don't watch out.
Amen.
And once there was a little girl who always laughed and grinned and made fun of everyone and all her blood and kin. And once when there was a company and the old folks was there, she mocked them and she shocked them and she said she didn't care. And this is she kicked her heels and turned to run and hide. There were two big black things just standing by her side. And they snatched her up through the roof ceilings before she knows what she's about. And the goblins will get you if you don't watch out. And little Orphan Annie says, when the blaze is blue, and the lamp wicks sputter, and the wind goes woo,
Adam. My things.
and you hear the crickets quirk, and the moon is gray, and the lightning bugs is due and all scorch away. You better mind your parents and your teachers fond and dear, and cherish them that love you, and dry your orphan tears. And he poured in and helped the poor and needy once at Clovis all about. And the goblins will get you if you don't watch out.
Amen.
That's
Amen.
That's it? Whoa, that's impressive. I love it. Yay. Wonderful,
Great.
Diane.
That was nice, Diane.
That's pretty good. Wow.
I
What
know
a
you all
talent.
heard a little Orphan Annie.
I was,
Oh, yeah,
I was
we-
here the whole time.
Yeah.
I like
little Orphan-
poetry.
Yeah.
The
I
com-
didn't- Go ahead. Go ahead. What were you about
Okay.
to say?
Wasn't she in the comics?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Little
was.
Orphan Annie?
Yes,
Yeah.
Little Orphan Annie was the comic strip.
These things-
That was nice, Diane.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was really cute.
I like it too, Diane.
I like little Orphan Annie.
What you say, if you don't watch, the goblins will get you
They'll
if you
get
don't
you.
watch out, huh?
Right. You know how when you were bad and they scared you with scary stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt used to do that when she used to turn the lights out and pretend it was ghosts, and she did ooh, and we would look at her scared, trying to scare us. Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting down to that clock. I see Annie's anxious to get started. So why don't we just get started, right?
Okay. All
Okie
right.
dokie.
All right.
Somebody was on and I think he thought he was in the wrong place because he left.
So again, we want to welcome Annie to our program. As usual, Annie's been with us for a while. I think of all the vendors, she's been with us the longest, and she's still delivering very informative topics. And you all are learning from it. So she's here again today to talk about what?
Password management.
There you go. So that's what she's on board for today. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Annie and she'll take it from here.
Thank you so much, Teresa. So, okay, you guys know the drill. I will mute audios now, but you guys can unmute yourself after. So for us to hear each other better, or for you to understand the presentation better, is ideal that you keep your microphone off, right? But when we finish going over the presentation, the slideshow, you will be more than welcome to ask questions about whatever we cover, whatever wasn't clear to you, all right? This is a topic that has been requested to Teresa, and that's why we are bringing it to you. Alrighty, that being said, I'm gonna use my slideshow, and after I will do a brief live demonstration. When you can see the screen, for those of you who have your camera on, you can use your thumbs up to indicate that you can see. That way I make sure that you can see the same information that I'm trying to bring you up to date. So let me start sharing now and we can take it from there. Alrighty. 1 second here. Right. For questions, we can discuss questions after. We have only 1 hour and we have plenty of information to go over. So yeah, we will wait until the end for that. Alrighty, so can we see this? You can show the thumbs up if you can. Thumbs up. Awesome. Awesome, I see a thumbs up. Very good. Thank you so much for confirming. All right, today's presentation is password management. And another thing before I actually jump in, if you have any questions and you think you are gonna forget them, you can go to the chat and type them in the chat. After I go over the presentation, I will see the questions. During the presentation, not always I can see whatever you type in the chat, so that's what I say. At the end, I will be addressing chat questions and questions you have, okay, that are not in the chat. So, all right, so let me move forward. And here we have a disclaimer for the presentation. These are intended for educational purposes only and do not replace independent professional judgment. A statement of fact and opinions expressed are those of the participants individually, and unless expressly stated to the contrary, are not the opinion or position of Cyber Seniors. Cyber Seniors does not endorse or approve and assumes no responsibility for the information content, accuracy, or completeness. Attendees should be aware that sessions are audio recorded and may be published in various media, including audio and video formats, without further notice. So that is our disclaimer that also has been requested for the sake of everybody understanding our terms and conditions when we come to present for you. And for those of you who might not know me, my name is Annie and I work with Cyber Seniors. We teach older adults how to use technology. And that's why I bring always technology to you guys. So here we have a little introduction, right? Users and all of us are users essentially concerned about managing online risk rely on password managers as part of their security strategy. These convenient tools create computer-generated passwords that are complex, unique, and difficult for hackers to figure out. That doesn't mean that you cannot create hardcore passwords on your own without the help of a password manager, but this is probably a very good tool to keep in mind if you want to go that extra step in terms of cybersecurity. Alrighty, so let's start with defining password manager. We cannot talk about password management without mentioning password manager. So a password manager is an application that can generate, store, retrieve, and manage password from different websites. So whenever you go online, sometimes you start typing your email and a password, and you will have a prompt that says, would you like us to remember this? That is a password manager playing out their function. The password manager stores all your passwords in a database system, giving you extra protection against hackers and also unauthorized personnel trying to access your account. It also ensures that you don't forget or lose your passwords. You know, as we use much more applications these days, obviously it's very hardcore or very difficult to remember all the usernames and password that we manage in those all applications. Why you should consider password managers? Cybersecurity experts highly recommend password managers because they offer convenience and security regarding your login information. Again, if you have multiple services or use multiple services, that can be your email, that can be your social media accounts, that can be anything related with the government or how you access your benefits with the government. Those are kind of passwords, user names you can save in a password manager. Most people use, and this is a bad and a no-no, repetitive password, which can put our accounts at risk. a password manager can generate long random passwords for all your online accounts and then store them so you don't have to remember them. Again, this comes from the fact that the more accounts you have, the more services you use, the more things you have to remember. And some of us are not so good at remembering things, or when there is so much to remember, you end remembering the most important thing for you. So that is when password managers come to play a big role in this part. So we have here types of password managers. We have something is called third-party applications and also password managers built into your web browser. When I say web browser, it can be Safari, it can be Google Chrome, it can be Firefox, Mozilla, it can be Microsoft Edge. So all those web browsers have a built-in password manager. People are kind of skeptical and sometimes even afraid of using those because they don't know where the information will end once they save their passwords in these applications. But we will check a little bit about that in a couple minutes. All right, now here's a big question, right? Is there a cost? We are all concerned about finances and trying to save money with things that we need to manage better. So there is a yes and no answer here. And it's because many of the third-party password managers will offer free versions, but also limit the number of devices you can access your passwords from and how many passwords you can store. The third-party password managers are the ones that you will find have a premium subscription and the ones that will be associated with a cost. The ones that belong to the category of built-in into the web browser, most of the time are free and are already working and installed in your device. You just need to know how to use them. So here we have third-party password managers, and please don't get afraid of the numbers you will see in terms of prices because they also have free versions. But free versions, of course, are limited. The premium versions have much more things, but it's really up to what do you need from that password manager. So we have something is called Dashlane, and this is a password manager. They have a free version, and it's up to 50 passwords in this password manager. It's one device per this password manager, and they have a 30-day free trial premium. I don't recommend so much these trial premium things because you will have to input the credit card information, and if you are not attentive enough after the period, they will start charging you for that, so you should be careful. The premium subscription is $59.88. It's unlimited passwords, unlimited devices, meaning you can secure not only your computer but also your iPad, but also your smartphone under one account. There is also the ability to access VPN, the private network connection for Wi-Fi protection, especially if you are in public Wi-Fi networks such as coffee shops and supermarkets or maybe malls. There is also plus more protections, and you can check that in their website. And here in the presentation is also include the link to that website. Next one we have here is TrueKey. As I mentioned before, most of these password managers have a free version. TrueKey free version has 15 passwords available, unlimited devices, and the subscription is quite affordable. I would say it's only $20 per year. It has no limitations in terms of how many passwords you can store here, and no limitation in how many devices you can use the same account with. At the note, there is a company called McAfee, and they are kind of parent with TrueKey, and they offer total privacy and antivirus protection plans that include the services of TrueKey that are the ones we just mentioned. We have Kaspersky, and again, There is a free version here, is up to 15 passwords within the password manager, unlimited devices. The premium subscription is $14.99 per year, and no limitation with passwords or how many passwords you can have in there. And it's easy or fairly easy to set up and sync information across different devices. So whether you use your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, you can sync all the information in those devices to be present in Kaspersky Password Manager. Kaspersky is a larger computer security company that also offers antivirus and security software. What this implies is that some or most of these password managers also offer other type of security services, including antivirus protection. If you are looking into that, maybe that would be an option. If you already have one of these services, maybe you can check with them if they offer the password manager option. You probably have it and you don't even know that you have that feature. You have Remember, these also have free version, is unlimited passwords, which is much better in comparison to the others we've been checking out. The downside is that it's one device limit and there is no syncs or backup. So if you make a mistake and delete password, most likely you won't have a way or easy way to recover them because there is no backup set up. There is a premium subscription of $36 per year and unlimited password, unlimited devices, and sync across all of them. And they have a priority in customer service, meaning if you experience a problem or you just want to know how to set up things, they will walk you through the steps nicely. The note here, price lowers to $30 per year if you commit to up to 2 years. Just keep in mind, this is a big commitment. You never know how life can change after a year. So that is for you to, analyze. And 21 year if you commit to 3 years, which means that if you commit to more term services with them, you will end paying less. All right. We have LastPass, and LastPass, most like the other password managers, offer a free plan with multi-device use for one user. Password generator. Password generator means that if you don't know how to create a password, they will do one for you that will include all the different characters, digits required for a password. And there is no limitations in the amount of passwords you can manage through the free version. The premium version is 36-year per user. And this is again a multi-device or multi-device for one user, password generator, unlimited password, and you have 1 gigabyte of encrypted file storage and copies of passwords and other documents that could be important and relevant, but also sensitive for you. And there is a plan, a family plan, if you are interested in taking this with a family member or any members of your family, you can end up paying 48. So if you can take this with 4 people, you will divide those $48 between the 4 of you. And the details are the same as the premium above with up to 6 users. So I mentioned 4 users, but you have up to 6. All right, so that is LastPass. We have 1Password here. No free version, but does offer a 30-day free trial on products. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Everything that says free trial for 7 days, 14 days, 30 days, it means that you can use that for that amount of time without paying anything, but you will be asked to submit the information of your credit card. After you spend that free trial time, they will start charging you. So you have to be very good at putting down the subscription after the gracious time. Otherwise, you will end paying for something you might not need. They give you these trials in order for you to have a sense on how the password manager or the application works. OnePassword has an individual plan that is $35.88 per year, has unlimited password, unlimited devices, 1 GB encrypted document storage. There is also something called travel mode, and this option removes sensitive data from your device when you cross borders, which is very nice. And family plan is $59.88 per year. In comparison to the previous one, it's a little bit much more expensive, and it has the same skills or features as the one above, with up to 5 users. The other was 6, this one is 5. And you have also the recover accounts for locked out family members. If somebody experienced the problems, you have the ability to recover accounts for them. Are these third-party password managers safe? Their commitments to security start with encrypted security. So you probably have heard encryption quite a bit. This is the type of technology that banks, WhatsApp, and certain applications are using right now. So the information is maintained in the platform as opposed to be outsourced to different digital spaces, to say it some way. What this does is that make the password manager much more secure than other ways of storing your passwords, such as some of us could be using a notebook, right? It's much more secure to use a third-party password than a notebook, because that is, a risk of breaching that information. In addition, they use two-factor authentication and other features. For those of you who don't know what two-factor authentication is, that apart from having a setup or default password, you will have to prove your identity, even by biometrics, a second password, or a PIN similar to the one you use for your bank. It should not be the one you use for your bank. It should be one different to the one you use for your bank. When I say similar, it's because it's most likely 4 digits, something of that nature. All right, some of the features that are additional in these third-party password managers are auto log out, meaning when you are not using the application, they will log out the session for you. You don't have to actually sign out. There is a master password that can be used for sensitive information. Generated passwords, meaning if you are struggling with creating secure password, they will do that for you. And that essentially make the creation and manage of passwords, logins, etc. much more secure. Now we are moving to the ones that are free, for sure, right? And these ones are password managers built into your web browser. Okay, so let's start with, will they meet your needs? More importantly, are they still safe? So we are going to find out if the built-in password managers such as Chrome, Safari, and Microsoft Edge are right for you. If you are a person who has a simple life or a simple use of technology, this might be an option for you. But if you manage much more private or sensitive or confidential information, maybe you want to check into a password manager. It comes to your personal needs and what you prefer in terms of security. So the most popular browser password managers, today every major browser offers a password manager that uses encryption to keep your information secure. But there are some differences in functionality among them. In this list, we have Safari, Chrome, and Edge. So the browser, Safari, for example, works across operating systems. It does not, because Safari is more designed for Apple devices. So if you are one of those people who have the sign of Apple in some of your devices, maybe that would be an option for you, because Safari doesn't work with all the operating systems. It only works with systems that are compatible with Apple. They have a two-factor authentication option in place, and they have not the ability to use a primary password feature. So that is not, whatever has the X, it means that option is not available in that password manager. In Chrome, you can use it across different operating systems, whether it's an Android or an Apple. They have the two-factor authentication and they have a primary password feature. Edge has functions across all operating systems and also two-factor authentication, but they don't have the primary password feature. All right, so let's start with Safari. I know some of you, I would say most of you have a iPad, so this is something you want to pay attention to. If every device you own has the Apple symbol, Apple's iCloud keychain, that is how it's named, the password manager, is a natural choice for your password managers. It comes pre-installed on every Mac computer, iPhone, and iPad. You will need an iCloud account. If you already set up your Apple ID, more likely that is already taken care of. To use Safari Password Manager, if you already are using an iPhone, iPad, or Mac, you likely have an iCloud account, such as I just mentioned. To use iCloud Keychain, you will need to enable the feature on each Apple device. After that, Keychain will sync your passwords automatically across every enabled Apple device. All right, how iCloud Keychain protects your data. So they use end-to-end 256-bit AES encryption to protect your data. It combines a unique key from information specific to your device with a passcode you create. This encryption technology means no one else can read your data, not even Apple. Safety considerations. While this is a very safe approach to protecting your data, iCloud Keychain does not have an obvious downside. If you don't have all your devices password protected, anyone with your phone, tablet, or computer has your passwords at their fingertips. Therefore, it's important always to require a password or biometric access to your phone, tablet, and computer. We'll also want to enable the two-factor authentication for an additional layer of protection. Here we have Google Chrome Password Manager, and it's great because it works across operating systems. So Google's Password Manager works wherever you use the Chrome browser. So the Chrome browser is that little circle that has kind of a red tiny circle inside, and it has the green color, yellow color, and it's very popular out there. It doesn't matter if you are on an Android, Windows computer, or iOS device, Google offers Chrome apps for all operating systems. The password manager found in Chrome is tied to a user's Google account, meaning you will have to have a Gmail account in order to be able to use the feature much better. Hence, as I just said, you must need to be signed into your Google account to use this feature. When you are, your passwords are safe in your Google account and synced on all devices where you are using Chrome. To enable this, turn on the Chrome synced feature on each device. All right, so how Chrome Password Manager protects your data. So they also use the AES 256-bit with a SSL TLS encryption for passwords. I know some of these numbers and letters don't mean anything for you, but it's the type of encryption they use to protect your password. Google's passphrase feature also offers an additional layer of security. Passphrases create a unique primary password that nobody knows except you. Even Google can access your unique passphrase without you kind of enabling that. With Chrome's built-in password checkup feature, you can see if your login credentials have been involved in a data breach, meaning if they have some kind of risk, and therefore you should change them. So the built-in password manager will tell you about that, and you have a good way to spot any problems ahead of time. This feature is turned on by default. So if you are not too attentive to that, Google essentially is doing this for you. Safety consideration. Although Google takes steps to protect your data with encryptions and also a passphrase, there are still safety concerns. Anyone who can access your device also has your passwords. It's important to password protect all your devices, enabling the two-factor authentication, meaning a person will have to have your fingertip or your eyes in order for them to unlock your device and get to that accessing of your password. This will boost the security in your devices even more. One of the biggest concerns for users in data sharing, such as passwords, when you use Google Chrome Password Manager, you send all your information to Google. So Google is a company that captures and uses data for profit. They do that. While there are no known cases of Google compromising account holders' private information, such as the password, this is of course something that you want to think twice before you decide to choose Google Chrome as your primary password manager. I'm giving you the positive and the negative so you take a informed decision. So the last one here is Microsoft Edge. This is ideal for those of you who use a Microsoft account or are Microsoft users. If you already have a Microsoft account such as Hotmail, Mail.com, Outlook, using the password manager in Edge is convenient. When you activate Synced, your passwords are available in the Edge browser on every device whenever you are logged into that Microsoft account. You will need to create a Microsoft account if you don't have one, more like it happened or happens with Google and Gmail. How Edge Password Manager protects your data. So you will find that this AES-256 encryption is mentioned in the three of them, and it's because that is the information or the details they use to protect the data. Microsoft also recently rolled out Microsoft Password Monitor. This new feature informs you if one of your passwords is identified in a security breach. If it has been compromised online, the browser will tell you. It also prompts you to change the compromised password. Google does that, and also Keychain does that. Keychain is Apple, Google is the one related with your Gmail. While other browser password managers offer this feature, Microsoft is unique in using homomorphic encryption, which is a newer cryptographic technology to protect your information. Safety consideration, and I have placed all safety consideration with the different browsers that we have checked because you need to know your thing, right? In order to inform and take a decision. As with Chrome and Safari, the Edge Password Manager is safe as long as your device doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Always turn on password protection on all your devices. Although Edge does not offer an extra option to set a master password within the Password Manager, a feature that Chrome offers, you can further secure your Microsoft account with the two-factor authentication, and you should turn this feature on for better protection. Okay, should you use an in-browser password manager? Like all technology, in-browser password managers aren't a magical solution to every security issue. They offer benefits, but also have limitations. So when deciding whether to use an in-browser password manager, it comes down to the functionality you need from them. And here are some pros and cons. It's free, it's easy to use, and you don't need to get anything downloaded. The cons, they can't securely share password, no cross-browser ability to access safe passwords, meaning if you use a different browser as opposed to the one where you store your password, say that you use Chrome to store your password, but switch to Microsoft Edge, the password won't transfer from one browser to the other. So you need to choose one and stick with it. No option to change how auto-generate passwords are created. So when these password managers create password for you, you don't have the option to decide how they do it. They just do it and you don't have the option to change that. To decide which option is best for you, consider what you need out of a password manager. An in-browser password manager, the ones built in Chrome, Edge, and Safari, is a viable option for users who don't need to share login credentials with anyone. The same goes for users who use a single browser when surfing the web. If you don't use multiple browsers, like you only stick with Safari or perhaps Chrome, that is going to be ideal for you. But if you use multiple browsers for multiple things, you might need to think this twice. In-browser password managers are also already installed with your browser, eliminating the need to download anything on your device. And let's go to the live demo, and this is going to be the last portion of today's lesson. So you see where the passwords go when they are safe in your device. All right, so let me share my iPad. Just give me a second here. Right. When you can see the screen, you can use your thumbs up to indicate that you can see. So that way I will be able to know that everything is taken care of. Just give me a minute. Can we see this? Thumbs up if you can. Awesome. I see thumbs up. Fantastic. Alrighty, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is I'm going to start by showing you how the keychain password manager that is available on Apple devices look like. For that, I'm going to the settings application, right? I'm going to settings and I'm going to the left for my settings application and I'm going to look for something is called passwords, right? Here is passwords. That is the menu I will go to. I'm gonna tap in passwords and here, when you have multiple passwords in the keychain, it will show all the passwords that you have saved up in this space. Now, if you want to see more password options, you will go in the option password options, right? And it will tell you, do you want the keychain to autofill passwords when you enter in websites? Meaning if you have a username, such as an email, and you have the email password, the password manager will remember that for you, so you don't have to type it down. And I will show you how that plays. Here also, when this is done, they ask you, allow filling from. So what is your password manager? So in this case, the password manager selected for my device is iCloud password and keychain, meaning to manage my passwords, I use this password manager. Sorry, my voice just went off. Something else that you have in this password keychain option is security recommendations. So if your passwords are compromised, they will tell you as well. And you have an ability to activate the function detect compromised passwords. When you do that, what happens is that whenever there is a leak or a problem, the password manager will alert you. So in this case, this one right here, what it's telling me is that this is an easy to guess password, meaning a person with common sense will be able to, guess this password because I don't have too much exchange in characters in the password. So that is why these security recommendations are a nice thing. All right, so that is security recommendations. And at the bottom, whenever you save a password in the password manager, it will show you the username and the password of that place you are looking to use. I'm gonna use this one that says Roblox for a reference. And when I tap in that, it's gonna give me the username and the password. Now for security reason, this password is being protected by the iPad at this point, but this is how it will look for you. At the bottom, you have also the website. This password can be used once you save the information into your password manager. So it's used in roblox.com or www.roblox.com. And you can also go to the place from this point by using these little icons on the right side. So that is the keychain on password managers for Apple devices that can be available in your iPhone, in your iPad, Mac computer. So Apple devices, essentially. Also, something that you'll find at the top is when that password was modified last. So this password was last modified on last year in July. So that is a nice thing for you to know. When you do changes to your password, you will be able to see that. And you can add notes to yourself, right? This is something that you can do. Say, for example, this is gaming. That is also a way for you to remember what this password is for. Sometimes we just don't know. And I will just tap in done. And now I have that note about this password is for gaming. And at the very bottom, you have the delete password option. If you are ever concerned about that password being safe in your keychain password manager, you can delete that. It's doable. It's not gonna be a problem. So that is the password manager keychain. Now, say that you use Chrome, all right? And I'm gonna open my Chrome application. And here is my Chrome application. And I'm going to sign in into my Google account or Gmail account. I'm gonna use this sign in Google account. Now, when I come here and I have a password saved in my password manager, I can tap over that and the information that the iPad has saved before, whether it's in the keychain or Google, will be displayed here. So here it shows the different users name. Say that I'm gonna use this one right here that is called Demonstration Cyber Seniors. So here it shows the username and the little dots are the passwords. When I selecting that, it's gonna type that for me. So I don't need to type anymore because the password manager is providing that information. Now, if I go to next, right, I will just tap to I will have to tap in there once more, and then it will show me like a key that I can use to show the passwords that I have available with this platform, right? So I'm gonna use this one right here, and you see how it places in there. So I don't have to actually type it because I already saved it in the past. If you did not have that save app, it will ask you, do you want to save that password? And if you want to save it, that is how you will do it. Okay, so I'm gonna tap in next. And essentially I sign in into my Gmail account. Now, when you are in the Google account and you want to see your password manager, you can go at the three dots, right? What I did here is like, I went to the three dots, tap in there, and you have a feature called passwords. I'm gonna tap in passwords. And when I tap in password, it's gonna show me the password save up through Google Chrome. So here I have a couple, right? I have save passwords at the bottom. I have something is called check password. And I also have a feature called check now. So the check password thing is for Chrome to check your passwords when you sign into your account. So in that way, you will know if your password is compromised, if there is any security breach or things of that nature. When you want to check all the passwords once more, you want to do it recently, you can go to check now and it will start doing that checkup for you. If nothing is happening, it meaning there is no compromising for you to take care of, there is nothing for you to worry. At the bottom, you have settings. And if you go to your settings, here you have other features such as do you want Google to offer the option to save your password? Meaning if in the future, when you are signing a place with a username and a password that Google doesn't have save up, do you want Google to ask you to save it up? If you don't, you can just deactivate that from here, right? Also, password in other applications. You can enable these, and what it will do is that passwords in other applications, you can use the passwords you save to Google Password Manager in other apps on your iPad. And you can just go to Open Settings and it will walk you through the passwords that you already have in the keychain. So you will have to do that process. So I'm going back to Chrome and I can go to Password Settings. And also you have export passwords. So if you ever want to export your passwords to another document, say like a Google Sheet documents to see where the information is contained, you can export your password and they will be visible to anyone who can see the exported file. So that is the downfall. But for you, it will serve like a information. If you want to have a cheat sheet, that is the purpose of it. So I actually don't pretend to do that now. So I'm going to select in done. And I'm going to tap in edit. And if you ever want to delete a password from this point, you can just select that from here as well. So for example, I'm going to use this one from my work. And when I select in that circle, I will tap in delete and there you are. So that password has been deleted from the list. So anything that says save password, it means that you have approved Google Chrome to save that for you. And if you use the search bar at the top, you can type the name of the password that you are looking for. Right now it's not letting me. I'm gonna tap in done. And I'm gonna tap in search. And I will tap demo and see what comes after. So if you don't find a password within the save passwords, you can also use a word or a combination of words, and it will bring you the information for you as well. So that is that, cancel, done. And I did all that from the 3 dots. If you go to security, you will be able to see other things about your navigation online, including the passwords that you use, right? And here are some of the things we mentioned in the presentation. So that is a 2-step verification. If you want to activate that to make your account and password manager much more secure, you can set up this. You can set up a passkey, a password, a recovery number, and a recovery email. And from this point also, you can see other devices that you are into or sign into. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at here because I know some of you might have some questions and we have a few minutes before we end the session today. And I'm going to stop right here and we can go over questions. That's a lot of information, I know. Alrighty, so let me go over the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna answer the questions in the chat. Isn't risky to save your password, your banking in your device? I won't do that. I will actually sign in with the details of my bank always. I won't prompt the device to save my banking information unless it's my fingertip. Because if I use my fingertip, I don't have to use a password. The person literally need to have my same fingertip in order to enter my bank. But I won't recommend saving a bank password in the password manager. So you don't do that. My password do not work for me. I tried to log in and get free apps. I will have to know more about that because that doesn't give me too much detail. What password, what application, what do you try to use? So I'm not really sure how to answer that. If you lost me, it is because the connection was poor at some point, or you have any connections with your internet at home. All right, I think that covers the chat. Any questions now? You can raise your hand and I will take your questions. All right. You can unmute yourself also if you have a question. Okay. Any questions? Raise your hand. No question.
No questions, Annie. You
That's
did
pretty
such an
impressive.
excellent job. You did such an excellent job that, oh, yes, some showed up
Actually, I
now.
see three questions. We jinxed it. Luis, go first. Luis Wordle. If I'm not saying the last name, I apologize. Correctly, I apologize. Luis, I'm gonna ask you to mute. There you are.
Um, I have a question. You know, Google, how when you're doing things online and you'll just say, should I save the password? So is it good to go from there or to start that saving of the passwords in a different way?
If your passwords are not sensitive, like it's not bank related, government related, and it's just a game, I would save it in Google. I don't think it's a
Okay.
problem. Yeah.
Okay,
But
thank
no
you.
bank, no government,
Okay, no
no
bank,
benefits,
yes,
none of that.
okay. And you said not unless you can use your finger so they know it's you.
For example, let me remove my background so I can show you something. All right, so here is my device, right?
Yeah.
My device have like a reader in the back. So if you
Yeah.
put your fingertip here and you sign in your bank, they will recognize your fingertip. So a person who wants to recognize, enter your bank will have to use your fingertip unless you are sleeping or drunk or I don't know,
Or
dead.
dead or something.
Yeah, and they use that, they cannot enter. So if you are alive, they will need a fingertip to enter.
Okay, thank you so much, Annie.
I don't mean to say that, but I couldn't be more specific.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That was funny.
Good
All right.
information.
I have seen that in a few television shows when people set up the biometric factor and they
Yes.
set up the eyes or the fingertip and they usually caught that. It's like, oh my God, people don't.
Sometimes just to look in somebody's phone.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
that
yeah,
on program. Yeah.
That's a little bit extreme. But yeah. I'm glad that we find the graciousness in the joke.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your
Thank you.
question. Okay,
You're welcome.
Diane, you can go next. You're next,
Yes,
Diane.
I wanted to know if somebody, you had I had a Gmail account and somebody compromised it and I can't get the Gmail account back, even though I changed the password. What happens there?
So you want to keep using that email?
No, I can't use it no more and I can't delete it. But
Well, you
what
just
other-
said it yourself, right? The person just took over your account. So
right.
they guessed your password. So I guess your password was not difficult. And what is an easy password? If you use 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D,
Right.
anybody can really guess that. So if the person took over, most likely they were able to guess your thing. Other stuff that you do, and people sometimes fall in the trap to do it. They set up the name of the pets in Facebook or Instagram, and if you password is the name of your pet and the person see the name of the pet in Instagram, they already have access to that account. So you just said it yourself at the beginning. So the person literally took over because they guessed your password. That's just the best explanation I can think of.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry about that though.
All right.
Next time, use much more difficult password. 12 characters, right?
Okay.
Combinations of letters and numbers. Add special characters, the exclamation mark, the percentage, the dollar symbol, those kind of things that are not easy for people to guess.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Alrighty, Florence, you're next.
Okay, I was the one that wrote the thing about when I used the apps and I put in my password, because you know, you hit the side of the computer says install.
Oh,
And
okay.
when
You are talking about confirming the installations with your Apple ID. So you forget
yes,
your Apple ID password. That's what happened.
I don't think I did, but it's not allowing me to do it. So obviously I did. So
Okay.
how would I change the
Um,
password?
Claro. Passwords are sensitive, right? If you probably will think that you are writing it down, but my experience is that you guys sometimes think you are writing something, but you are not writing down that.
Just spell it.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you are using the capital letters. If there is a capital letter in there, that you are using the right characters, because if you make a mistake with any letter, it won't let you. It will say, okay, password is correct. You might think you are typing it right, but you don't. Now, that being said, if you want to reset your Apple password, Apple ID password, if you go to your settings, in your settings, they will be at the right side after you tap over your name in your iPad, and probably
Right.
yeah, there will be a
I
menu that's
I was following you when you talked about the keychain.
yeah, that is a different thing though. You are
Okay.
talking about the Apple ID password. I was talking about saving regular passwords. When you forget your Apple ID password, that is an inconvenience because the permission that your iPad requests to install password come from that. So if you don't know the password, you are in a little bit of trouble. So you will have to reset your password, your ID password, your Apple ID password. That is not related exactly with the keychain. They are related, but that is not keychain oriented. That is settings oriented if you need to change the password. That is two different things we're talking about. So if you want to reset your Apple ID password, you might want to do something like this. I can show a little bit of that, but I won't be able to do it step by step because I don't want to reset mine.
Okay, thank you.
But I can show you where you go. Okay,
Okay.
so say that you go to your settings, and here you can see my screen now. So in your
Yes.
settings, when you go to your settings, at the bottom of the word settings, you have your name, right?
Okay.
You will tap in your name, and at the right side of your name, you have something is called password and security, okay? Password and security. When you go to password and security, it will prompt you to type your password. You will have to type your password 4 times wrong. And when you do that, it's gonna show you forgot password and it will take you to validation. You know, that's how you do it. I would say
Okay.
that if you want to get that done, maybe you want to call Cyber Seniors and we can help you with that, because it's something that can get complex because they will ask you questions about you and validate who you are before they allow you to reset the password. But if you want to reset the Apple ID password because you don't remember that password anymore, that is the place you need to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Now another question, because you were talking about your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Now you use a Samsung, but I have an iPad, so what an iPhone. So how would I?
I also have an iPad. In the iPad, from the settings option also, you have something is called Touch ID and Passcode.
Okay.
The Touch ID and Passcode will walk you through what you need to do. So what things, it will look like this. So I don't even know what I stopped. I don't, but okay, 1 second. So I did not leave my settings. I'm still in my settings. So in your settings, this will depend also the kind of model of iPad you have. If you have a much older model, you might not have it, but my model has Touch ID and Passcode. So that is the fingertip one, right? And you can add your fingertip and
Okay.
decide for what things you will use your fingertip. Can it be for the person to unlock your iPad, meaning if the person or anybody want to use your iPad, they will have to use fingertip to unlock it. Is it to protect the wallet and Apple Pay option? Is it to protect the password autofill? So there is different functions that you can associate with that fingertip function when you use the Touch ID. And usually you will have to use the thumb and you will have to press it over the home button. That is how it reads it. So the home button is the one that you will touch. So here, this little circle that you have here, you will use it.
Right.
And that is how it read it, right? And it's sensitive. Once you have the Touch ID set up, that is the place you would go. It works like a reader. So you will just press over that circle, and that is how it will work. All right. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions, Florence? No problem. Happy to help. Anne, you next.
Okay, I wanted to know when you change your password, like for Facebook or something, or for your telephone, should you change your email too?
Only the
No.
password.
Just the password. So you
Just the
can
pass-
use the same email, but just change your password.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And it was a lot of information, and
It was.
you know, you have to remember us girls and gentlemen a little over
Yeah, that's okay.
29. Okay.
I understand that. Well, you have a little bit much more knowledge than before, right? So the
Yeah,
goal is
I
not
sure
that
do. I really
you
do.
know everything, but you have a better understanding. That's the goal.
Okay, thank you, Annie. You're always very informative.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah,
Alright.
I like the way you're patient, and I like the way you explain stuff.
Nice, thank you. I will keep
Okay.
the good work done. I need to
Okay.
get better at pronouncing things, but thank you so much. All right, Luis, you're next. Thank you, Anne.
You're welcome, dear.
Is that Louise Allimore?
Dennis is.
We
Oh,
have two.
yes, Luis Alimor. Yes, that's, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking sometimes when you sign in,
Yeah.
as soon as the little thing come up for you to sign, it says, I forget my password, and you
Yeah.
didn't even put it in yet. And I thought, is this a trick question?
No, it's
Or-
not.
Or so I just ignore it and touch the thing again and then put it in because I didn't forget it, but it didn't give me a chance, you know.
Yeah, so the forget password function is there because, all of us have a tendency to forget passwords. And I actually intentionally don't remember passwords that are not important for me. I do that because I
Mhm.
want to reset that again, and I don't mind, but people actually mind to create passwords again.
Mhm.
It's not that they are telling, oh, you forget your password. It's that they are giving you the option that if you experience something like that, you can
Mhm.
do it right away. Like, for example, in the case of one of the participants who was talking before, you don't see the password, forget password right away. You will have to type multiple times the
Mhm.
password wrong before they tell you, okay, you forgot your password. But in applications, they offer that from the beginning, so the person don't have to struggle typing the wrong password multiple times. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. And then if you do it and miss one thing, then you got, I don't want to change it because sometimes you memorize it so well.
Yeah.
You don't want to go through that, especially on my regular computer. I'm like, Lord help me. I'm trying to get in here. Let me go. So
I
that
feel you.
you really explained those things very well. We do appreciate it.
I'm glad that you feel that way.
Step by step.
Yes,
We thank you
always.
for that. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Well, glad and thank you for your question. Wilma, is that you, Wilma? You can unmute yourself. There you are.
Yes. Okay. I was trying to use my phone.
Yep.
Because my pastor sent me a link so I can get into the programs, on the next Sunday. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to get it. I'm using my phone to go through here. But
Okay.
it said I didn't remember my password to get a new password. So I'm trying to get a new password, but it wouldn't come through my phone. But in the meantime, the old password shows up. So I didn't know what to do. I just got off. I didn't know what to do next, really.
Okay. Were any other notifications on the screen saying what you were doing? Because sometimes the device will do that for you. If they are giving you the old password, they will tell you, do you want to use the old password?
Yeah.
You can say yes or no, and they won't take all those little details and place it
Uh-huh.
there. If you say yes, they will take the all information and select it for you. So you just have to read the screen and see what they are telling you.
Yeah, I said yes.
And what
then-
happened?
And it still wouldn't take.
Oh, you mute yourself. You mute yourself, Wilma. You mute yourself. There
Am
you
I
are.
ready?
Yeah, now I
Okay.
can hear you. Yes.
All right. Now I did say yes. I wanted to stay with the same password. And
Okay.
so I typed it back in, the same password, and then it comes back and say, and didn't receive it.
So you did not write, you did it right then, because if you select yes, I want to use this password, you won't have to type anything because the information would be filled for you.
Well,
if
it didn't fill. It didn't
Okay.
fill it up. So I said, well, let me go try to get a new password.
Do
So
you
I-
see? Okay, go ahead.
I checked and said, we say you want a new forgot. It says forgot the password. So I did that. And so it said, use your cell phone and try to get back with you and give you the new number, but it never came in last night. So I don't know what
so-
I did.
Okay, they say that they will send you a text to your phone.
Yeah, well, they said how to get back in communication and ask for my cell phone number.
Okay, so they ask for your cell phone number because they send you a number in there, like 4 digits, 6 digits
Yeah.
sometimes. And for you to continue those numbers, you probably have to write them down and type it when
Quickly.
they ask you. Yes.
Because if you don't write it down, and then if you don't use it quickly, it's gone immediately. So what's that?
Not
I just
always.
got
Those numbers
frustrated.
actually are in the messages application. So if you want to see them, they will be there. I think what you're trying to say is that won't be available, or you won't be able to use that for long. So they are only valid for a couple hours before they are no longer valid. So if you want to recover the account with that number, you will have to request another one. Go to your message, write it down real quick, and go back to where they are asking for those.
And
Yes.
put it in.
And put it in, yes.
Yeah. So, but this, it wasn't my iCloud that I was working with. I was working with an older password under Gmail, WilmaTLawson@gmail.com. So that's what I was working with. I said, well, maybe they wanted my iCloud number. So I think they're different, aren't they? The iCloud and they're different. So
But I think you guys, this is where you guys got it wrong. You think that you can use the same password for everything, despite it's Google, despite it's iCloud. No. Passwords can be different. And if you are using the same password for one thing and the other, even when you did not set it up like that, that is when the problem comes. So that is what I say. Password managers help you set up a name for that account, knowing what password you use and the username, so you don't confuse things. If you mix up things, you won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna work with later on the phone. I'm gonna work with that. Thank you.
All righty.
Okay, so we've reached, thank you, Annie. Done again, a very wonderful job of explaining password management. You broke it down just uniquely. I know that the seniors will not be able to hold on to all this information, but at least they'll leave out with some of it.
I will send you the slides though, so you can have them.
Right, right. And so that's okay. So I want to thank you. Can you all unmute and give Annie your thank you and whatever?
Thank you, Annie.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate it. It was
Annie.
really good.
Thank you, Annie.
And I
Thank
learned
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
See you
you.
next
Thank
month.
Thank you, Annie.
Take care.
God bless and
Bye.
keep you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Take care,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye, Teresa. Thank you so much.
Annie, I'll see you next Tuesday. Next
Yeah.
Thank you,
Annie.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
You too, Annie.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. I just want to bring to your attention this evening, we have the movie of the month, The Pursuit of Happiness. So please tune in at 6 p.m. for that. I will be the one handling that. I'll see you then. Okay?
Thank you, Miss
Teresa.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
God bless and keep
Everyone
you.
have a blessed day.
And then, of course,
You
Good
as
now.
well,
The
Dolores.
same
then
now.
there's tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're gonna look at streaming devices in the morning, and then up in the afternoon, if we need any more information on Zoom and virtual backgrounds. Monday, and we're doing something pretty interesting on Monday. We're gonna make a what is called a vision board, and that's gonna be where you're gonna collage. So we're gonna look at vision board on Monday, but I want every one of you to come up with your best photograph about yourself. It's got to be digital, of course, or take a picture of it with your iPad if it's not already. So we're going to make a collage of all of us.
Oh.
We're going to do that on Monday using Freeform, and you're going to learn more about vision boards on Monday. Okay?
Okay.
You really would you like a vision? Is there a need for a vision board?
That sounds
Keep that in mind. Yeah, so keep that in mind. That's what we're doing on Monday. All right, but get your favorite photograph. It could be from when you were a baby. It could be as an adult, any age you want to, and share it with the group on Monday. Okay, gotta be digital because we're gonna drop it onto the vision board.
How
You're
you do
actually
it?
dropping that photograph onto the vision board. Okay.
I don't know how you do it digital.
Yeah.
Now, how do you do it? You get
in
yourself, you can
How
get
you
your
put
phone out or your iPad and take a picture of your picture if it's a hard copy picture, which is what I
Okay.
do. I've got tons of pictures that I took with my phone.
Yeah.
That's how you get it. You want to get it
With your
digital.
iPad too.
Yeah, take it with your iPad.
With
That's
the new
new
one,
one,
and
Gotta
you
be
right on your
digital.
new iPad.
What time
All
is
right.
that, Teresa?
Okay, so keep that in mind, and that's Monday morning. We're gonna put a whole lovely vision board together of all of us. And that will be our Mother's Day, whatever you want to call it. Okay?
Okay, that sounds great.
So
Thank
we'll
you.
see you then. Well, we'll see you tonight, though. Pursuit of
Okay.
Happiness. Great movie. You'll enjoy. It's a true story.
Oh, Pursuit of Happiness. Okay.
All right.
And,
It's a true
Teresa,
story.
when you want us to send you the
How do you get the movie?
Oh, don't worry. The same way on today. You're using the same link. The same
Oh,
link. You get on
okay.
with today.
You don't go
use
to the
that tonight.
library.
It's-
You don't go to
No,
the library.
No, it's all virtual. It's just
Okay.
as if we're watching it together on your iPad. That's
What
what
time?
we're doing.
6.
6 p.m.
6. Okay. Thank you.
And we'll
And-
probably go till about 8. So keep those 2 hours reserved. I'll see you then.
And
Okay.
Teresa, you want us to start sending you the movies? that we
Oh,
want
yeah, you
to
can send me email. You can email those, yes. And I'll get
Yeah.
them a request.
Okay.
And so you can put them on the wheel, right? Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Later.
God bless
Bye-bye.
and keep you.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Later.